From the early days of World War II, Germany sought to achieve technological superiority over its enemies. This ambition was not just a military strategy, but a core part of the Nazi ideology, which believed that advanced technology would be the key to their dominance. This obsession with advanced weaponry, often referred to as wonder weapons, was deeply ingrained in the Nazi ideology. The regime invested heavily in research and development, hoping to create weapons that would turn the tide of the war in their favor. German engineers and scientists were encouraged to develop cutting-edge tanks, aircraft and rockets, believing that these technological marvels would secure victory for the Third Reich. Projects like the V-2 rocket and the Tiger tank were seen as game-changers. However, this pursuit of wonder weapons ultimately proved detrimental to Germany's war effort. The resources and time spent on these complex projects often diverted attention from more practical and immediate military needs. The allure of these technological marvels often blinded German leadership to the practical realities of warfare. They underestimated the importance of logistics, maintenance, and the ability to produce weapons in large quantities. While the Allies focused on mass production of reliable and easily repairable equipment, Germany poured vast resources into a smaller number of complex and often unreliable wonder weapons. This disparity in production strategies played a crucial role in the eventual outcome of the war. This strategic miscalculation would have far-reaching consequences for the outcome of the war. The failure to balance innovation with practicality ultimately contributed to Germany's defeat, highlighting the limitations of relying solely on technological superiority. The Tiger and Panther tanks are prime examples of Germany's obsession with technological superiority. These tanks were not just machines of war, they were symbols of engineering prowess and military might. These heavily armored and armed behemoths were designed to outmatch any Allied tank on the battlefield. Their presence alone was meant to instill fear and assert dominance. The Tiger, weighing in at over 50 tons, boasted an 88mm gun capable of destroying enemy tanks at long range. Its thick armor made it nearly impervious to most Allied anti-tank weapons. The Panther, while slightly lighter, was also heavily armed and armored, designed to engage enemy tanks at a tactical advantage. Its sloped armor provided better protection, and its high-velocity gun was deadly accurate. While formidable on paper, these tanks suffered from significant drawbacks. Their sheer size and weight made them difficult to transport and maneuver in certain terrains. Their complexity made them difficult and expensive to produce. The intricate designs required precision engineering and high-quality materials, which were in short supply as the war dragged on. The Tiger, for instance, required over 300,000 man-hours to build, compared to just 45,000 for a Sherman tank. This disparity in production time meant that Germany could not produce these tanks in the numbers needed to turn the tide of the war. Their sophisticated engines were also prone to breakdowns, and repairs in the field were often difficult due to their complex design. This mechanical unreliability often left them stranded and vulnerable on the battlefield. In contrast to the Tiger and Panther, the Panzer IV tank represented a more practical approach to armored warfare. While the Tiger and Panther tanks were designed with cutting-edge technology and superior firepower, the Panzer IV focused on versatility and reliability. The Panzer IV was the mainstay of the German panzer divisions, a reliable and adaptable platform that served throughout the war. It was the backbone of the German armored forces, providing essential support in numerous battles and campaigns. It was continuously upgraded throughout the conflict, with improved armor and firepower to keep pace with evolving battlefield demands. These upgrades ensured that the Panzer IV could face new threats and remain effective on the front lines. The Panzer IV was easier and cheaper to produce than its heavier counterparts, allowing for greater numbers to be fielded. This mass production capability was crucial for sustaining the German war effort, especially as the conflict dragged on. Its simpler design also made it more reliable and easier to maintain in the field. Crews could perform repairs quickly, ensuring that the tanks could return to battle with minimal downtime. However, the allure of the Tiger and Panther, with their promise of overwhelming firepower and protection, often overshadowed the Panzer IV's practical advantages. Despite this, the Panzer IV's contributions to the war effort were invaluable, proving that sometimes practicality and reliability can be just as important as raw power. Section 4. The V-2 rocket, a costly and ineffective terror weapon. Germany's pursuit of wonder weapons extended beyond the battlefield to the skies. The V-2 rocket, developed under the direction of Werner von Braun, was the world's first ballistic missile. Capable of reaching altitudes of over 100 kilometers and striking targets hundreds of kilometers away, the V-2 was intended to terrorize Allied cities and break their morale. However, the V-2 program was a prime example of misplaced priorities. The rockets were incredibly expensive to produce, with each launch costing the equivalent of millions of dollars in today's currency. Moreover, their accuracy was poor, and their impact on the war's outcome was negligible. Section 5. The Manhattan Project, a stark contrast in strategic investment. In stark contrast to the V-2 program, the Allied Manhattan Project, while also expensive, focused on developing a weapon with the potential to decisively end the war. The atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, while undoubtedly horrific, ultimately forced Japan's surrender and brought World War II to a close. The V-2, on the other hand, remained a weapon of terror, its psychological impact far outweighing its strategic value. The resources poured into its development could have been far better utilized elsewhere, such as improving tank production or bolstering Germany's struggling air defenses. Section 6. The Price of Obsession: How Wonder Weapons Crippled Germany's War Effort. Germany's obsession with wonder weapons ultimately proved detrimental to its war effort. The vast resources poured into these projects came at the expense of more practical and essential military equipment. The complexity of the wonder weapons also strained Germany's industrial capacity and placed a heavy burden on its already overstretched supply lines. Furthermore, the reliance on technological superiority bred a sense of complacency among some German military leaders. This belief in the invincibility of their wonder weapons blinded them to the Allies' growing strength and their own strategic vulnerabilities. Section 7. Conclusion: A legacy of missed opportunities. In the final analysis, Germany's pursuit of wonder weapons during World War II represents a cautionary tale of misplaced priorities and technological hubris. While these weapons were impressive feats of engineering, they ultimately failed to achieve their intended strategic objectives. The resources expended on their development could have been far better utilized elsewhere, potentially altering the course of the war. The lessons learned from Germany's experience remain relevant today, serving as a reminder that technological superiority alone does not guarantee victory in warfare. A balanced approach, emphasizing practicality, reliability, and strategic vision, is essential for success on the modern battlefield. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more historical insights and fascinating stories.